Five questions to ask before replacing or upgrading switch gear. The average lifespan of switch gear is 20 to 25 years. Beyond this period, the aging switch gear can negatively affect their three basic functions, namely electrical protection, control, and isolation. This can result in financial losses should the system fail to protect electrical equipment from power surges. Also, employee safety is significantly compromised when the switch gear in use isn't in good working condition. To avoid such problems, you would want to upgrade or replace your switch gear once they age and start becoming inefficient. But before you decide to replace or upgrade, here are the questions you need to ask yourself. 1. What is the severity of the problem? This should be your first inquiry when considering whether to replace or upgrade your switch gear. Suppose the current inefficiencies you are experiencing with the system arise from just one defective component, say the lighting switches, fuses, isolators, circuits, breakers, current transformers, or protective relays. If that's the case, it would be wise to replace only the defective component while leaving the rest of the switch gear system intact. Luckily, you can quickly get such components from local or online stores at good prices, as you can see from this lighting switches collection. But if the inefficiencies stem from a larger underlying issue with the entire unit, you would want to replace the whole unit. This is because replacing all the individual components might end up becoming more expensive than purchasing a new complete unit. And that brings you to the next point on costs. What are the costs involved? When evaluating the costs involved, make sure to calculate both the initial cost and the projected future maintenance cost. In most cases, a retrofit solution is less costly than a replacement in terms of the initial capital costs. However, it will help if you determine the likelihood of other components wearing out and needing replacement in the near future. The seemingly small costs can accumulate to a significant figure within a few years. On the other hand, replacement of the entire switchgear unit may be expensive at first, but with the assurance of negligible maintenance costs in the coming year. So make a point of carefully balancing these costs and settling for the more cost-effective option. Number 3. Are there spare parts available? There is no denying that new technologies are developing at a much faster rate than the average lifespan of switchgear. As mentioned earlier, manufacturers design switchgear to last about 20 to 25 years. Some even outperform this estimated lifespan and work for more than 30 years. During this period, you can be sure that technology has evolved and some of the components rendered outdated. For instance, the circuit breakers used 30 years ago may not still be available in the market. Manufacturers may have long ceased producing them, and therefore you can't find the same model and design for replacement. In such a case, it's only feasible to replace the whole switchgear system. Fourth, how many downtime can you tolerate? Some industrial establishments and homes are so dependent on electric power that they can't survive a couple of hours without electricity. If this describes your situation, then replacing may not be a feasible option, as it involves dismantling the old switchgear system in totality and installing a new one in its place. This may take several days or weeks depending on the size of the system. On the contrary, upgrading your switchgear system can take just a couple of times, especially if the failed component is a quick fix. This won't significantly affect your operations. Number 5. Are there accessibility limitations? It's possible that the building housing your switchgear unit and the rest of the conduit has structural components with asbestos. In such cases, it would be risky to go about dismantling the older system. You may need to engage other professionals with expertise in handling such toxic substances for the sake of your health. Also, the access doors to the electrical room matter a lot. Perhaps the older switchgear system fitted snugly through the doors because of their smaller size. If the new system is dimensionally bigger than the access doors, you may have to request the supplier to split the shipments into manageable parts. Lastly, you must ensure the available space will comfortably accommodate your new system. If it's too small and you don't plan to build a new electrical room, it will be more appropriate to upgrade to the old switchgear unit. Conclusion: When your switch gear system gets less efficient and safe, it may be time to either replace or upgrade it. These two options have their pros and cons. Thus, it's critical to carefully evaluate the system and settle on the more feasible option. The 5 questions discussed above should help you make the right decision. The ultimate goal is to make your electrical systems as efficient as possible.